Whatever it is that you're doing, was this not something that fueled me first before it fueled anyone else? Then if that's the case, if the answer is yes, then why give up on it? Why give up on it, right? Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to you, dear listener, dear watcher, dear individual. Today we'll talk about something that I think is very common for a lot of us, honestly. Ever had one of those moments where a random thought would just come up to your mind and somehow you yourself would be pretty much surprised that you actually thought of something like that? Say for example, you'd think about like, can I put out the flames of this candle with just the tip of my fingers? Or I don't know, maybe how long can I hold on to this ice cube without cold burning my skin or something like that? You know, sometimes these invasive thoughts are pretty silly, like what I just said. Sometimes they are small actions that, I don't know, if we're not careful enough, that's gonna hurt us physically, I think. But at the same time, there are invasive thoughts that are also detrimental to ourselves, to our minds, and to the way we see ourselves, to the way we see the world, to the way we see what we can do. And honestly, some invasive thoughts are also can be limitations, limitations that we put upon ourselves. So let's talk about that today. Let's talk about that. Once again, I'm your phantom broadcaster Makeeya, and we're broadcasting from somewhere between the living and the dead. You're tuned in to the Midnight Radio. I first encountered the term invasive thoughts when I was scrolling through TikTok a while back. So basically, it's a term that people started using as a more loosely put version of intrusive thoughts. So a while back, people were posting about some of the random moments, right? Like the sudden urge to cliff dive when you have no experience, or the sudden urge to do this and that, even if it's something that you've never done before. Or something along the lines of like, you're gonna be commenting something that's super like unnecessarily funny or unnecessary to a certain video, but like you can't help but put that comment and do it, and people are gonna say, oh, you let your intrusive thoughts won. Yeah, so if you guys are brain rotting on TikTok a lot, I'm pretty sure you guys would see stuff like that. Now, the thing is, I've also seen a bunch of mental health professionals who are saying that people shouldn't use the term intrusive thoughts lightly, because many people are also struggling with intrusive thoughts that are on a greater and grander scale. Like, say for example, those who are really like life-threatening situations and they can't help it, their minds are like pushing them to do things that would just be really, really bad for them in a very, very bad for their physical state or probably even the mental state. So it's an actual thing that people struggle from. So a lot of mental health professionals were urging for proper usage of the term intrusive thoughts. So in that sense, I think the more politically correct term is to use invasive thoughts, which for the purposes of this episode, that's the term that I'll be using. However, if it's still like out of what's typically used or normal or whatever, please do let me know, and I would love to be corrected about that. So anyway, back to it. Invasive thoughts are interesting. Sometimes you have like, I don't know, sometimes you find the need to say something that's totally out of character, or to do something that's totally out of what's expected of you or what's commonly your thing. Or sometimes it's just the urge to point something out. Say, for example, okay, I'll put myself for an example, right? Like comments that would say would, comments that says would or jackpot or this and that. I'm like, y'all are giving into your invasive thoughts to comment something like that, or like what that mouth do, I I get it. Like sometimes you have this urge to just say something that's totally off-putting or whatever. Or sometimes let's take this on a more positive way. Okay. Sometimes it's as simple as like you just want to send that risky text to your crush. Like tell them that you like them. Tell them that you know what, crush, you're really cute and I like you. If you want, maybe we can go out sometime or something like that. Like that happens and it's just gonna happen on a random burst. It's like you're just having coffee one afternoon, doing your own thing, then suddenly you just have this burst, this sudden moment of like, you know what, I'm gonna tell my crush that I like them, or I'm just gonna go do the thing. If there's one thing to summarize it, it's I'm just gonna go do the thing, right? That's commonly what invasive thoughts are, I guess. But at the same time, I want to talk about invasive thoughts in a more personal way, in a way that I really relate to and stuff like that. Invasive thoughts to me are a guise of imposter syndrome or laziness, I guess, or things, excuses, self limitations, I would think that it's an invasive thought when I would say, you know what, it's fine even if I don't do this and I don't do that because no one really cares. And I'm sure you guys feel that, especially for those who are doing a lot of creative endeavors and you feel like no one really cares about what you do. And you're just like, you know what, maybe I should just give up, you know? Maybe I should just stop this whole thing and do something else, right? And honestly, I've spent so many years of back and forths of such mindsets, mindsets where I was like, yeah, no one cares about what I do. Maybe I should just go on to the next thing or not do this thing anymore. And I'm not good enough. There are so many others who are a lot better than I am. So yeah, blah, 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 blah. And in my head, right now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, had I not stopped over those past few instances, over those past few challenges, had I not given into that invasive thought of just, I'm not good enough, I would just stop, I will just not do the thing, then maybe, just maybe, you know, things are a bit different for me now, right? And I guess I don't really know where I'm getting. I'm doing another unscripted episode. I just remember that with Chat in my last live stream, we talked about having an episode about invasive thoughts, and that's all I have going for me at this point was to just, hit record, talk about invasive thoughts. Yeah, let's talk about invasive thoughts. I guess it's an invasive thought in and of itself. But invasive thoughts to me are something like that. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing good. I'm doing great. The Midnight Radio is really good. What I have in mind for my content is really good. But then on a random night when I'm trying to sleep, despite being the ghost that refuses to rest, I still need to rest. I'd be like, what if this is all just for nothing? What if just like the past few times that I attempted a creative endeavor, then it's not gonna work or it's just gonna be for nothing? And maybe I'm too late in starting this whole thing and all blah 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 blah. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Blah. Right? and it's just a passing moment of such thoughts. A passing moment of weakness, of just thinking of giving up or doing something else, or just, I don't know, just stopping altogether. But then I realized, no. I shouldn't think that way. Because it's just a split second of doubt of what I can do, doubt of like people who are actually like taking their time to send in messages, to send in comments, to send in how much the Midnight Radio is relatable and how much they feel seen, heard, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I still had that thought, that brief moment of like, what if I do this? What if I do that? Or rather, what if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? And to me, that's a form of an invasive thought, you know? And in this space, it's really, really easy to succumb to that. Numbers, algorithms, behaviors, comments, this and that, growth here, decline there. I started the same time as this person. Why is this person like skyrocketing more than I am? It's it's very common. It's very common. And I'm honestly in no position to I'm no big time creator, or the Midnight Radio isn't like a big of a show just yet, but I just wanna say that maybe if you can take the time to pause for a bit and think for a bit, you know, maybe it's just an invasive thought passing by, and that's it. We're just, well, you guys, you guys are just humans. We're all just people, and in that sense, I'm very much the same as you. We're all just people, and we have all of these moments of weaknesses, moments of doubts, moment of just feeling lost and stuff like that. And an invasive thought would be like, why don't this is not meant for me. What I'm doing is not meant for me. Why don't I just stop it? Why don't I just probably give up, you know? But then if you catch yourself saying that, then I honestly think it's just gonna be good to just pause for a bit and be like, hold on. Why did I even start this in the first place, right? Was this something that made me happy? Was this something that fueled me more than it fueled my audience, the algorithm, and all of these things? Or if you're not a digital creator, then whatever it is that you're doing, was this not something that fueled me first before it fueled anyone else? Then if that's the case, if the answer is yes, then why give up on it? Why give up on it, right? I I don't know how we went here. I don't know. I just started like talking and letting my words run its course. But to me, sometimes that's those are some of the loudest invasive thoughts ever. You know, and in a way, yeah, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna touch the tip of the candle, or I'm gonna skateboard down the hill, or whatever action, right? But it's something that's hurting us. Those simple thoughts of what we think are just split seconds of vulnerability. If we allow it to keep on happening, then the next thing we know is we're succumbing to it. So honestly, if you find the time or strength in you to just say no to these invasive thoughts of not being enough, not being able to do much, not being able to be significant enough, then I hope you find it in you to just take a pause and say that no, I'm enough. I'm enough to be here. I'm enough to do whatever it is that I'm doing. I'm at my own pace, I'm at my own journey, and that is fine. That is fine. So, whatever thoughts that you are having, whatever thoughts that you are having in terms of doubting yourself, doubting your capabilities, sometimes I won't be hypocritical, you know. I won't be hypocritical and say that don't listen to it. It's all like, no, it's all like, what's this? It's something that you can just ignore. It's hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore those. I definitely know that. But at the same time, I also know that with practice, you know, with proper practice, with proper mindfulness in terms of just saying, no, I'm good enough. I can do this. I can do this. I'm worthy of what I'm doing. I'm worthy of being here. Then it's enough. It's enough to slowly build a habit of believing in yourself again, and not learning not to listen to these invasive thoughts when they come by. They would spring up, definitely. They will never stop springing up. But when they do, the most that we can do is to just be like, oh hey, yeah, no, I'm having these thoughts again. Let me just let them pass by. Let me just let them speak. Let's just let them speak out themselves, and then after that, we're like, okay, that's good. We're good. I'm tired. I just need a bit of rest. I just need a bit of clarity. Then after that, we're good, right? So, whatever invasive thought that you're having right now, especially if it's the bad kind, I hope you find it in you to take your time for a bit to just breathe. Breathe and know that those invasive thoughts aren't your truths. They may be not so friendly ghosts who are telling you that you aren't enough, that you aren't capable, but at the same time, I agree that's what makes us human, you know? That's what makes us that's a human flaw that all of us would have, but at the same time, I hope you find it in you to just believe in yourself again and believe that whatever negative thought that you have isn't your truth. Yeah, it isn't your truth. So for now, just simply tell yourself, allow this to be the thought that would prevail. Just tell yourself, I am enough. I'm worthy to be here. If I feel tired, all I have to do is rest. I'll find my spark again. My spark will never leave me. I am good. I am worthy enough. I am here. I am worthy enough. Yeah. Allow that to be your thought to counter those invasive thoughts in your head. And I hope you guys remember that. In other news, okay. So, the past few weeks have been a bit crazy on my end, with a lot of things happening on the back end, to be honest. And recently we had the Pixel Loot Fair that happened, and a couple of my friends were able to do their own meet and greets there and stuff like that. And I think that's pretty cool. And I was able to like take a peek at the event to check out what was going on. And to be honest, I think like more and more people are starting to appreciate VTubers all the more now. And it's cool to see actual meet and greets happening in mall events, so that's pretty cool. So thank you so much to Pixel Loot Fair for doing such a thing. Not only for like VTubers, but like content creators in general. It was just really cool to see like an actual PHV tuber meet and greet happening in one corner, care of the Daijobu booth. So yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. And the second thing I wanted to talk about is that the next episode of the Midnight Radio might be a little different because we'll be talking about a lot of games. Because next week will be Steam's Choose Wisely Festival. So, the Choose Wisely Festival is a week-long celebration of games that are, like those visual novels that typically branch out based on the choices that you pick. It's a story-driven game that would kind of like choose your own adventure kind of thing, where the endings that you'll be encountering, or however the story unfolds, will be based on the choices that you will choose. So Manesan will be doing a lot of the games. I think they will also be streaming on their own platforms, but at the same time she gave me the opportunity to just talk about it a bit more. I'm not sure if I would be streaming some of the games. I would if I could and if I would have the time, but I would be talking about it both on the Midnight Radio and probably doing some separate content about it. So I hope you guys can check that out and also check out the games that are a part of the Choose Wisely Festival. But in the meantime, I hope that you guys are having a good week. I hope that you guys are, you know, having a good start of the month. December is like always really fun because it's very festive. A lot of things are happening, especially if you're in the Philippines. It has been like Christmas season for a while now, but for at least around the world at this point, the festive season is like very much felt. So I hope you guys are having a good start of your month, and I would try my best to still keep on providing or doing midnight radio episodes over the holidays. But I hope you guys are spending your holiday season, the last month of the year, the best way that you know how. December is like really special to me, so I hope you guys are having a blast and just, you know, take advantage of the rest of the year. We only have like a few weeks left, so it's time to just let bygones be bygones. Let this year and all of its ups and downs close as nicely as possible. And let's all welcome the new year in a very positive light. This won't be our last episode for the month, don't worry, I just wanted to say that. But until then, this has been your phantom broadcaster Makeeya of the Midnight Radio, wishing you that you would sleep well, dream deep, and don't let the shadows get lonely.